Greetings, this is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster. This is a review of Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 1. Plot spoilers. Yeah, right away. Yes, I just got done watching the season premiere of Season 2. Thoughts on the episode. It's supposedly a year and a half after the last story, which was supposedly set in 2399, which would make it early 25... Oh, the last one was 2499, so it'd make it 2399. So, but yeah, that's right. 2399, so now it'd be 2501. 2401. Roughly 2401. It's a year and a half later, right? So it was November of 2399, and now it's into 2401. 2 years before the events of Starship Location's Strange Worlds, and roughly 16 years after Star Trek Chimera. 14 years after Chimera. So we have the cast and crew scattered throughout the galaxy, including Rotherin is a planet similar to the Delton planet, the bald heads. It's a Delton planet, yeah. And Girardi and them are on the Delton planet. Girardi and Agnes. Apparently, Agnes has been acquitted of murdering Maddox because aliens infected her mind or something, or came up with temporary psychosis. So they let her go on a diplomatic mission to this Delton-like planet, Retheron, which is it does sound a lot like Rosmacom from Transtech, which is awesome too, but I don't think it is. Some other planet. It's probably Rebia from Starcrackers. Starcrackers, of course. No, no, it's not. But then we have Picard at his chateau, the opening scene. Get some kind of funky things of doing scanning things. Oh, the very, very opening scene though, the teaser trailer is set 48 hours earlier so that they can show the Stargazer under Cristobal Rios getting attacked by what appears to be the Borg. It's come through the view screen thing. And if the Trek Yards guys were wondering if they used the view screen like a window in the scene and beamed through the clear steel, no, they don't. What's going on is the Queen is using some kind of plasma beam to cut through the... So it isn't a window, it's clear steel, and it goes and she beams through. So yeah, it's only projects as a window. It's not a window. So it's both. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the ship looks a bit like the Baran class from Discovery, but it has the 4-engine Baran class. Drexler again. He says, because Discovery was the whole show was too advanced. It was like, it was just too advanced. Well, now they're in the distant future, but it was too advanced. Anyway, so it looked like 2399 when it wasn't. In terms of the Sillian universe, they did address that, but when they go to the future part, that's in later episodes. It's 2024, which it would be. If they corrected the timeline. Good. Now it's 2022, so it's 2 years ahead of the other ones. They did correct that. So So this 2020 now would be 2399. So 97 and 99. In the last Sillian space stories from that series ended in 2397, so 2 years before Picard, and also in 2399 during Picard. So it was like 2020 and 2024, and so they shifted ahead a year and a half to address that. Sort of. There's a subplot with Picard. Laris likes Picard. I guess her husband died, or her friend died, or they got divorced. or something, and she likes him, but he doesn't want to commit. So, but then later on he goes to do his speech. He's visited at one point by his mother in a dream, who tells him about looking up at the stars, to quote the astronomy guy, the lookup guy, space watch guy. Also, there's not just DeGrasse Tyson, but the other guy before him. Also, we have a lot of Easter eggs. We have a lot of Easter eggs. We have the Stargazer. We have the Excelsior. Was going to be Cadet, another ship. Cadet, the kid, the absolute candor kid is Cadet. We assigned to the Excelsior. It looks like the original Excelsior. It has the same call number. Even though it would be 100 years later, it probably wouldn't. It would be A or B or even D at this point. It's kind of odd that it's the same looking ship. Should have at least updated the graphic and made it look, like it's the D or something. But yeah, I do like that they used actual real ships. Many of the fans complained that the cut and paste fleet was not cool. They redid the whole fleet and everything and made it look cool. We knew they were doing that. Now you've seen it. So yes, the fleet all looks different. Yes. So I did not design it, but we know people. But we're doing it. They already revealed it in the trailer too. So. But yeah, they've also filmed season 3 apparently. 2 and 3 were filmed back to back during the COVID thing. So we already know there's going to be a season 3. Cristobal's assigned to the ship. He does the Admiral Global from Robotech or Macross in Japan thing, and lights and puts a cigar on the bridge. Even in the original, which is silly. Even in the original Robotech, they do warn Admiral Global no smoking on the bridge. Even in the 80s, no smoking on the bridge. Things could blow up. But he doesn't actually ever light it. He pretends to light it, but he doesn't actually light it. So he does follow Admiral Global. Somebody's a Robotech Macross fan. Somebody's a Macross Robotech fan. They watch that and they're like, let's make Cristobal Admiral Global. I'd be totally okay with it. They did a live action Robotech movie, that guy playing Admiral Global. Because, yeah, he totally would be Admiral Global. Yeah, he could totally nail that part. But yeah, so we have, so there's the Borg show. The Borg want Picard, and they send out a signal that they're reading. They're asking for Picard. Meanwhile, Picard has gone to see Guinan at 10 Forward Street. Oh, gee, that's clever. And Guinan gives him some sage advice about whatever. And it's very similar to in Starship Locations when Guinan shows up as different characters. Very similar. The dialogue is very similar. Like they knew ours and we knew theirs, and sort of we just said, okay, we won't go where you did, but you won't go where we did. Yeah, and of course there is a brief shot of an Andorian triple guy, Mikey Madmouth, in the background of the bar. Yay! I think Curran's there too. Yeah, I think Towhead Harris is there too. They're both there. The flirty guy with the bald head was more of a Kal Kat, but he wasn't. No, I wasn't flirting with Trotty. I wasn't flirting with Trotty. It wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. Somebody else. But there's a the ship is under attack. Somehow he's able to activate self-destruct, even though that really shouldn't work. He's visiting the ship. He's wearing the Chakotay outfit from. When he walks out of the bridge, he's wearing the gray Chakotay outfit from Prodigy, the Chakotay Prodigy. That tells you that the Prodigy series takes place not in 2383, but in 240203, somewhere around there, and that they went back in time 20 years to 2383 in that series, and that it's the current time period. That's what their outfits look like. Also, that is confirmed with the uniforms they're wearing resemble the uniforms from the Janeway that's looking for them using the ship to look for the protostar. Using the rebuilt version of the that ship from that. I forget the name of it. But yeah, her outfit looks similar to that because similar to this actually. This jacket, very similar. This is a Chimera jacket. So yeah, very similar. And this is from Chimera. This is from 2390s, 2380, 2390s. Yeah, so I have, okay, activates the sequence thing. I'm just kind of going over what I thought of it, first impressions style. Probably not going to make a massive analysis of it. I'll let Trek Yards do that. The part where they do the destruct thing blows the Picard into a different timeline where it's a version of the mirror universe, kind of, and they kind of like blatantly reflect that. They have mirror universe type outfits. Q is angry, and his dialogue is almost word for word what he said in Starship Chimera, 2019. Is what he said in 2019. So there's and a little bit of this is that version of the ship. A little bit of this is that version of the judgments and differences. It's a little bit of various spec scripts we did years ago, which is why this season we're not going to put those in Starship locations because Picard is doing it. So we're like, oh, okay, our second season will be about the ancient aliens. I'm sure they won't do that for season 3. Let's do that. Okay, we'll do that. But yes, and they did film the Picard show in California instead of Toronto, where they're filming Discovery and in California. So. Toronto, Canada, instead of in California. Yeah, so I don't know where the ship set was, but it looks like a redress of the. It kind of looks a little like the redress of Bookship, but it can't be because it's in California. So I'm guessing it's a redress of the other alternate Enterprise ship from Beyond is what it probably is, which is in California, or part of it was in Canada up there too. Really, they packaged it and rebuilt it. So it's a little bit like the Beyond ship, more so than the other ones. It probably isn't. It's probably something built new. I'm sure they wouldn't spend all the money on making a ship model without a ship in the set. The full thing. Hopefully Playmates will re-release all the figures. We'll have them, once again, brand new. And all the new ones, too. But it doesn't look like they're heading in that direction, unfortunately. They should be, because they did that with Ninja Turtles. I don't know, they're not doing it here. But we have Star Trek Picard. The episode was called The Stargazer. 3 different words. Stargazer. Yeah, so... Yeah, why Jurati would be allowed to serve in Starfleet as the ship's doctor is unknown. She's nuts. But, well, I guess Cristobal's kind of... Oh, and Fennis Ranger 7 of 9 thing is referenced. They show a fight in the beginning of that. Also, we have that thing, they were kind of an item at one point. They kind of brushed that off in dialogue in it a little bit. They were kind of having a falling out or something. Yeah, because it's in there, but it's odd. It came out of nowhere. I don't object to a scene like that, but like some of the other people, but it's like if it comes out of nowhere, it's like, well, neither of them. I don't know. They're just they're just not lesbians. They're not supposed to be, but I guess they can be if they want to. I mean, okay, that's fine, I guess. But yeah, they didn't go all whole hog with it. Well, considering the space destruct would then blow them all up, everyone up. They'd be gone. And then the timeline changes, and that scene was very similar to the scene in the Chimera movie, in which they did something similar. The Chimera miniseries. The ships were destroyed over the amusement park planet, the factory planet, the one that built all the amusement park planets. That's where they started. And the ships were all blown up, sending them down to the planet for the last half of the movie. Well, the last middle of the movie, and then the Q came along and fought the enemy Q and took them to took them to the continuum, showed the continuum. Hopefully they'll do that in this one. That would be awesome. We won't just see a cornfield because that's lame. We won't just see like, ooh, it's you won't understand it, Picard. No, we want to see the continuum in this episode, this series. Hopefully, we will. But we've seen this sort of darker universe thing, and then to save money, they sent some of them to Los Angeles for a few episodes. I was not involved, but yeah. So we have the fleet. Yeah, I have Excelsior class. Riker's ship is Excalibur class in my version. Modified Excelsior class. They could have made it that. That would have been, an update of it. They could have done that and get her different call letters. But yeah, the cheap effect of the shuttle going out. The shuttle they even fixed. I think they're watching Trek Yards because they fixed it and put a better shuttle in there. Didn't just use a shuttle from Discovery and stick lights all over it. They made a different shuttle model and put it in there. And there's a Black Admiral lady who instructs him on Picard on going and saving the universe. It's been allegedly over a year, so it's got to be mid 2101. Yeah, not 2400. Some people are saying it's got to be 2401. If not, then it's late 2400. At which point it's not over a year then. It's a year and some months. Because the original was November of 2399 is when the original took place. Picard show. Which would be 20 years after the events of Nemesis. Yeah, so that's about right. So, yeah. Which would set it in our time and Sillian timelines in 2022, 2 years later would be 2024, right? So yeah, yeah. So there you go. Star Trek Picard. It looks good so far. The dialogue is not as whispery. It was a little bit in places. A lot of nods to the original Star Trek. The bar scene. You could see one of the cast in there, or at least two of the cast in there. The Academy scene also. But yes, also Elnor sitting next to those two lady cadets. So I don't know if they were hanging out with him or if they were his group, but I don't know if they'll appear again. But, a lot of yellow shirts get killed on the spaceship. But if it's all Q messing with space and time, then it's probably different. Anyway, so I don't know. But the Borg showing up is one of the things very similar to the other version of Fearful Symmetry, where they do that very thing. They try to fake peace treaty, zap them thing. Also, Star Trek Destiny novels copied that idea, invasion with a Borg thing. So the novels did it too from that. The other Fearful Symmetry and the DS9 one and the Kal Kat one from not 20 years earlier, 10 years earlier than that. All of them did that. Although the original DS9 script of Fearful Symmetry was just the Dominion. They were the Fearful Symmetry, not the Borg. The rewrite in the pocketbooks was a Borg one. They rewrote it as a short story about the Borg. And that's more what this Picard story is more similar to. They put that short story in there. So that's why we're not doing it, because they did it. Yeah, so... But yes, so, and they kind of do the Perfect Plan in there too, which is an old Silly Trek ships thing. It was printed as Sillian Trek novels, the novels, Amazon novels. They also did that a little bit because they're going through time and they go back to the original period of course in our version it's our high school, which they wouldn't care about in space, and then they go on to our college, and then they go on to the present day and then fight the bad guys in the present day, then present day of I think it was like 2380s or something when that was done, 2370s, 2380s, somewhere around there when that was done, and in terms of 20 years ago. But yes, it's about 20 years ago. Yeah, around the time of Nemesis, basically 23 years ago, around the time of Nemesis, there was this story that we came up with. It ended up in the Sillian collections, Sillian Realms, and it ended up being used as a Sillian Realms story. It's in there. Of course, the high school and all that stuff goes back to way back into 30 years or more, and so that's referenced in there. But yes, so you don't need to know that, other than they're using elements from Sillian Realms, which apparently they've read. They can keep reading them. Buy more. Buy more of our books. Buy more. Buy more. We are the Borg. We will assimilate you. I said they just hire us for once. Anyway, so yeah, Picard.